So I've got a lot of advice to folks out there who are living with a rare disease and are looking for a new job. First of all, congratulations. It is really exciting and admittedly stressful to be starting to think about what that next step could be. Um, and also, there are a lot of additional considerations to keep in mind when you're looking for a job with a rare disease. And it really is imperative to find the right employer and to find that right job, that right fit. So, first of all, be honest with yourself, when you're thinking about what that job's going to be, not just in terms of, what the day-to-day responsibilities are and how they fit with your overall career goals, but also, what reasonable accommodations might you need to be able to do that particular job that you're looking at. So, to have this in mind before you start applying will help make sure that you're applying to jobs that really are going to work for you and set you up for success. And also, it just prepares you so that you do, as you do get further down the path of the hiring world, that you know what you might need to ask for and you're keeping that in mind. And as you start interviewing with people and getting a feel for the company and who you'd be working with, you get a sense on whether or not they might be willing to work with you on some of these things. So, for example, as far as reasonable accommodations, are you going to need flexible hours? I know for me, there have been periods where I need to take naps in the middle of the day. So, having a job where I can sort of, work the hours to get the job done, but perhaps, at noon instead of eating lunch, I'm going to maybe take a nap. So, that might be something. I know some people start, work way better a little bit later in the day. So, is there an opportunity to maybe start at 10 and work, until later in the evening? All things that you might want to think about. Also, these days in the post, pandemic world, remote work has really blossomed and boomed, and it can certainly be an asset for folks who are living with rare disease. And again, you might need to take a nap in the middle of the day. Working remotely might allow you to get to your healthcare appointments a little bit more easily than coming from the office. So that's also something to keep in mind. And again, just getting a sense of sick leave. We talked about a little bit earlier that being a benefit, but are you going to need to work with someone who can be open to you taking leave to go get an infusion, or working at a company that's going to allow you to potentially work in these different environments. Not everyone is unfortunately comfortable, or perhaps has ever worked with an employee who's needed to work from from a hospital or things like that. So again, just getting a feel as you start to look at different jobs and talk to people on whether or not you think that these people in this employer might be the right fit there. Of course, you have to start thinking about disclosure, which it's a whole other topic which we can dig into. And then, again, in being honest with yourself, think about the part-time versus full-time. I think I want to say there's no shame to working part-time. It is really great. So, I know I started working part-time, and as a young adult, I know it felt, like initially I was, letting myself down. I wasn't doing the most, and I wasn't, living up to what perhaps my healthy peers were doing. But the reality was that was the best decision for me. It was a great way to sort of dip my toes into the workforce, and and trying to work with managing this rare disease, because it helped me build up the stamina to work in an office setting full time. So again, don't discount potentially thinking about part-time options, and trying to work your way up until that full-time opportunity. Also, again, I know we have a lot of experience being patient, but I also ask that you be patient. The job search process is often long and taxing, and it involves a lot of rejection. But keep powering through, and know that eventually you're going to find the right fit for you. And I know there are a lot of folks out there in the rare disease world who, they want to bring their experience with their disease into the work they do. They're looking for a job that is related to rare disease in some way, shape, or form. And I do want to just, give guidance that, your first job may not be in rare disease or chronic health, but, just because it may not be your dream job, that doesn't mean that that job isn't going to offer some extremely valuable experience that you can use to, help tell your story and help get to that next step. So always be, thinking about how you can translate the skills that you're gaining now in today's job and into your next job. Sort of on the same page, there's always room to reevaluate. When you do get that job and you've worked it for a while, don't be afraid to, take some moments to reflect and say, are the accommodations working out, or do you need to make some adjustments there? Are you ready for more? Like you're looking for more growth opportunities. This doesn't have to be your forever job. So, and the way that you've set it up doesn't necessarily have to be that way forever either. So, again, take that time to look back and evaluate. So.